Alright guys, in this video I want to start talking to you about the different kinds of lists that you can use in JavaFX. There are actually a couple different kinds. There are these things called tree views, which is actually kind of like this. See how you can like select something and it expands and it might give you more options. So this would be a tree view. They also have like combo boxes where it kind of just looks like a bunch of, like a regular list, and you can like select multiple items in it at once. And you can also have like drop down lists, and that's what this tutorial is going to be about. So again, you already know what drop down list is. It pretty much is a drop down, then you click it, you get like a menu of stuff, and then you click one, and that's your option. So the starting point for this is just a button, and I'll say whenever you select an item and hit click me, and this is going to print out in the terminal. And all of these different types of lists are of type observable list. So if I ever say observable list, just think JavaFX list. So let's go ahead and figure out how to create it right now. So under your window, good place to put it. Actually, you might as well put it under the button too. Let's tighten this stuff up. And actually, let me give myself a tidbit more padding. Alright. So a drop-down list is just called a choice box. Why they name it choice box instead of drop-down, not sure, but they did. And you can have a bunch of different types of data in a choice box. You don't want to mix it up. For example, you don't want a drop-down that's going to have strings and integers in it together. You can have a drop-down for strings, and you can have another one for integers, but you don't want to mix your data together all in the same observable list. So I'm just gonna use this one for like names of stuff. So of course those are strings. So in between curly brackets, type what type of data do you want to store in your dropdown. Now I'll just name it choice box. And set this equal to new choice box object. Right like that. And you actually, if you ever see this, some people actually type string on both sides. You don't need to do this since it is implied. Alright, so now we have a blank drop down list. That's it, pretty boring. Let's go ahead and stick some items in it. So whenever you want to add an item to it, there are a couple different techniques. And let me just say this. Get items. Did I spell observable wrong? Can add items to. Alright. So what we're going to do is we first need a reference to the dropdown itself, which is ChoiceBox, and then we call a method called getItems. So this is going to get all of the items in your list. Now I know it's empty right now, but whether you're adding the 10th item or the very first item, it doesn't matter. You still need to get all of the items currently in your list. So after this, what you can do is you can just say add, and then you can add any string to it, for example, apples. Let's make one for fruit. So this dropdown is going to let the user select their favorite fruit. So again, you can go on and keep doing this one by one. You can add another item. Banana, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. That is how I remember to spell bananas. I think it's Gwen Stefani. Thank you very much. So you can either add items one by one, or what you can do is if you had a huge list of items or an array, then you can call add all to add several at once. So I'm actually going to throw in another fruit of mine, which is bacon. I think that's my favorite fruit. And let's just stick ham and meatballs in there. So again, these are some of my favorite fruits. So again, what we did is we now have 5 items in our dropdown, and these are just 2 different techniques of adding those items. So let me actually show you guys how to do this. Of course, if you ever want to add it to the screen, which you probably do, then you just add it as expected. But check out what happens. Whenever you run this, by default, we got our list, everything looks good, but no option is selected at first. I mean, we can select bananas and meatballs, but again, whenever the user launches this program, you probably want to have some value in there. So for a default value, Sorry, I got black lung from working the mines. All right. So anytime you want a default value, just get a reference to your dropdown and call set value. And again, this is just going to set an initial value, but of course the user can change this whenever they actually select something. So set a default value. And now whenever you run it, it doesn't work because we need to set this equal to a value that already exists, which is apple z instead of apple. Alright, so there you go. So again, whenever you have a default value, make sure that it's actually equal to something that is already inside your list. A million boxes open right now. Alright. So we know how to make a drop-down list and display it on the screen. Of course, the next logical step we want to do is implement some kind of method to extract the value from it. So I am just going to add a button, set on action method, and we'll just build one that says like get choice. Now of course we need to pass in our choice box and make the method. Alright, so we'll just say that it's private void get choice, Teen Choice Awards. Why did I say that? No idea. Now the object that we're passing in, remember, I guess it's not going to highlight for me, but it's a ChoiceBox string. And I'm just going to call it ChoiceBox. So again, what you can do is whenever you're creating your drop-down list, you can just copy this and use it in a parameter whenever you're validating the data. So again, this is what type of object we're going to pass in. This is what type of data it's going to hold. And now we can just do whatever we want. We'll say food equals ChoiceBox get value. So again, what this is going to do is it's going to get the currently selected value, whatever option the user selected, and now we can just print it out on the screen. So system out print food. And did I mess anything up? Hopefully not. Alright, so now if we click it, we'll just print out the default value. Of course, we can select something else. Bacon, meatballs, probably want to add a new line there, but whatever. And there you go. So yeah, simple as that. You can, of course, like I said, print line, and then it'll kick it off onto a new line instead of printing it all on the same line. But there you go. That is how you use drop-down lists, how you add items to them, how you set default values, and of course how you extract the user's choice or selected item. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.